He's still covered in dry blood, refusing to be helped. He's conscious, but he's been lying on his back, staring at the ceiling since the day he was dragged in here. If I didn't know any better, I'd think he was a corpse. I've been checking, too, every once in a while, making sure I caught that gentle rise and fall of his chest just to be certain he was still breathing. I think he's in shock. Apparently, once he realized Jay was gone, he tore the remaining soldiers to pieces with his bare hands. Apparently. I don't buy it, of course, because the story sounds just a little to the left of what I consider credible, but then I've been hearing all kinds of shit about Warner these last couple of days. He went from being only relatively consequential to becoming genuinely terrifying to assuming superhero status in 36 hours. In a plot twist I never could have expected, people here are suddenly obsessed with him. They think he saved our lives. One of the volunteers checking my wound yesterday told me that she heard someone else say that they saw Warner uproot an entire tree with only one hand. Translation? He probably broke off a tree branch. Someone else told me that they'd heard from a friend that some girl had seen him save a cluster of children from friendly fire. Translation? He probably shoved a bunch of kids to the ground. Another person told me that Warner had single-handedly murdered nearly all the Supreme soldiers. Translation? Okay, that last one is kind of true. But I know Warner wasn't trying to do anyone around here a favor. He doesn't give a shit about being a hero. He was only trying to save Jay's life. Leave him alone, someone hisses at me. He's grieving. I roll my eyes. Hey! Douchebag! I shout, hoping Warner's still close enough to hear me. I know you love her, but so do I, and I'm... Warner reappears so close to my face I nearly scream. I take a sudden, terrified step backward. If you value your life, he says, don't come near me. I'm about to point out that he's being dramatic, but he cuts me off. I didn't say that to be dramatic. I didn't even say it to scare you. I'm saying it out of respect for Ella because I know she'd rather I didn't kill you. I'm quiet for a full second, and then I frown. Are you fucking with me right now? You're definitely fucking with me right now, right? Warner's eyes go flinty, electric, that scary kind of crazy. Every single time you claim to understand even a fraction of what I'm feeling, I want to disembowel you. I want to sever your carotid artery. I want to rip out your vertebrae, one by one. You have no idea what it is to love her, he says angrily. You couldn't even begin to imagine. So stop trying to understand. Wow. Sometimes I really hate this guy. I have to literally clench my jaw to keep myself from saying what I'm really thinking right now, which is that I want to put my fist through his skull. I actually imagine it for a moment. Imagine what it'd be like to crush his head like a walnut. It's oddly satisfying. But then I remember that we need this asshole, and that Jay's life is on the line. The fate of the world is on the line. Listen, I say, making an effort to gentle my voice. I know what you guys have is special. I know that I can't really understand that kind of love. I mean, hell, I know you were even thinking about proposing to her, and that must have... I did propose to her. I suddenly stiffen. I can tell just by the sound of his voice that he's not joking. And I can tell by the look on his face, the infinitesimal flash of misery in his eyes, that this is my opening. This is the data I've been missing. This is the source of the agony that's been drowning him. I scan the immediate area for eavesdroppers. Yup. Too many new members of the Warner fan club clutching their hearts. Come on, I say to him. I'm taking you to lunch. Warner blinks, confusion temporarily clearing his anger. And then, sharply, I'm not hungry. That's obviously bullshit. I look him up and down. He looks good. He always looks good, the asshole. But he looks hungry. Not just the regular kind of hungry either, but that desperate hunger that's so hungry it doesn't even feel like hunger anymore. You haven't eaten anything in days, I say to him, and you know better than I do that you'll be useless on a rescue mission if you pass out before you even get there. He glares at me. Come on, bro. You want Jay to come home to skin and bones? The way you're going, she'll take one look at you and run screaming in the opposite direction. This is not a good look. All these muscles need to eat. I poke at his bicep. Feed your children. Warner jerks away from me and takes a long, irritated breath. The sound of it almost makes me smile. Feels like old times. I think I'm making progress. Because this time, when I tell him to follow me, he doesn't fight. So is this, like, normal for you or what? I'm still arranging food on plates in the little dining area of my room. Warner is standing stiffly in a random spot by the window. He chose that random spot when we walked in, and he's just been standing there, staring at nothing ever since. Is what normal for me? All these people, I say, gesturing at the door. Coming in here pretending they're not imagining you without your clothes on? Is that just like a normal day for you? I think you're forgetting, he says quietly, that I've been able to sense emotions for most of my life. I raise my eyebrows. So this is just a normal day for you? He sighs, stares out the window again. You're not even going to pretend it's not true? I rip open a foil container. More potatoes. You won't even pretend you don't know that the entire world finds you attractive? Was that a confession? You wish, dickhead. I find it boring, Warner says. Besides, if I paid attention to every single person who found me attractive, I'd never have time for anything else. I nearly drop the potatoes. I wait for him to crack a smile, to tell me he's joking, and when he doesn't, I shake my head, stunned. Wow, I say. Your humility is a fucking inspiration. He shrugs. Hey, I say, speaking of things that disgust me, do you maybe want to, wash a little bit of the blood off your face before we eat? Warner glares at me in response. I hold up my hands. Okay, cool. That's fine. I point at him. Actually, I heard that blood's good for you. You know, organic, antioxidants and shit. Very popular with vampires. Are you able to hear the things you say out loud? Do you not realize how perfectly idiotic you sound? I roll my eyes. All right, beauty queen, food's ready. I'm serious, he says. Does it never occur to you to think things through before you speak? Does it never occur to you to cease speaking altogether? If it doesn't, it should. Come on, asswipe. Sit down. Sits down and stares, blankly, at the meal in front of him. I give him a few seconds of this before I say, Do you still remember how to do this? Or did you need me to feed you? I stab a piece of tofu and point it in his direction. Say ah! The tofu choo-choo is coming! One more joke, Kishimoto, and I will remove your spine. You're right. I put down the fork. I get it. I'm cranky when I'm hungry too. He looks up sharply. That wasn't a joke, I say. I'm being serious. Warner sighs, picks up his utensils, looks longingly at the door. I don't push my luck. I keep my face on my food. I'm genuinely excited to be getting a second lunch, and wait until he takes several bites before I go for the jugular. So, I finally say, You proposed, huh? Warner stops chewing and looks up. He strikes me, suddenly, as a young guy. Aside from the obvious need for a shower and a change of clothes, he looks like he's finally beginning to shed the tiniest bit of tension. And I can tell by the way he's holding his knife and fork now, with a little more gusto, that I was right. He was hungry. I wonder what he would have done if I hadn't dragged him in here and sat him down, forced him to eat. Would he have just driven himself into the ground? Accidentally died of hunger on his way to save Juliet? He seems to have no real care for his physical self, no care for his own needs. It strikes me, suddenly, as bizarre. And concerning. Yes, he says quietly. I proposed. I'm seized by a knee-jerk reaction to tease him, to suggest that his bad mood makes sense now, that she probably turned him down, but even I know better than that. Whatever is happening in Warner's head right now is dark. Serious. And I need to handle this part of the conversation with care. So I tread carefully. I'm guessing she said yes. Warner doesn't meet my eyes. I take a deep breath, let it out slowly. It's all beginning to make sense now.